Good morning. Welcome to a wacky-ass Wednesday. It's not too wacky, but it is not too wonderful either. I walked in this morning thinking that it was going to be a good day, and best believe it was. Neil's been talking about brothels all morning.
No. Let's be clear about this. I wasn't talking about
We were
the
talking
brothels.
about Queen's brothels
I
and
was
the
talking
takeover.
about how many hookers, hoes, whatever you want to call them,
Boats
were
and
in
hoes.
the streets. Like, a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
But I'm not even talking about, like, the brothels and the shit you go to houses. I'm talking about just literally walking up and down in Jackson Heights.
Yeah,
So,
and on some back alley shit. Yep.
Weren't you here back in the day when that shit was kind of commonplace?
yeah,
Are you
right around the block.
surprised?
So
we're right
growing
here.
up on 42nd Street, that
Yeah.
shit was like
The fuck?
littered. And then the meatpacking district was the epicenter.
Pause. Meat was packed.
Yes.
Play.
Meat was getting packed.
Play. As you said, somebody said meat. Cued my attention.
We had a couple of
Pause.
nightclubs in there.
Play.
So it was funny because there were still the remnants of the working girls there. So again, it was just shocking to me just to see that many out in the streets. And it was reminiscent of a time, yes, before they put
It's kind of like
the Let It Snow. Whatever the
yeah,
fuck
it's
it
kind of
is.
like the stroll when the
Who
stroll
sing-
used
what
to be
Disney
around the
thing
piers.
sings Let It Snow?
Frozen.
Frozen.
It's not Let It Snow.
It's
It's
Let It
Whatever.
Let
Go.
It Go, but it's
Okay.
close enough.
Let it go. Let it
Before
snow.
they put the Frozen princess in Times Square, it was riddled with hookers. So
Fairly certain
Different
there's a
type
hooker
of
inside
cheese.
that Elsa costume too.
Probably if you paid
Yeah,
Elsa
probably.
enough.
yeah, but what's interesting now is that in New York they've quasi decriminalized prostitution. So they're no longer prosecuting it the way they did, which falls in line with them not doing it with weed.
R.I.P. Backpage.
Bring it back.
Dead ass. Bring it back.
Yeah, Backpage was
Backpage
the funniest,
2.0.
the funniest thing.
I feel like Backpage had a run so OnlyFans could walk.
Well, no, Backpage gave birth to Craigslist.
Yes, yes, it did.
And Craigslist was that, invite a random murderer into your house for a couch type of place,
Yeah,
and then the escort shit,
yeah.
which usually led to they like to party, which was the code for we can bring the drugs.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And,
And then make a
now-
donation,
Right.
I'm
I'm not going to lie, and listen, I'm not going to even front like I don't look at porn on the internet. I'm an
We're all
American
human.
man.
It's
That's how I
normal.
work.
It's
I was
human.
not out here thinking to myself, Neil doesn't.
But I will admit,
It's fucking
I
normal.
will, and here's what's probably not normal. I've never watched it on an OnlyFans. I've never actually seen somebody's OnlyFans because I don't
That's
know.
good.
Cheap
Good
fuck.
for you.
I refuse to pay anyone.
Good for you.
No,
I don't know, does
porn
that
is
make me odd?
porn is
If
completely
if there's
free.
millions
no
of free,
reason.
why would you pay?
And then on
for
top of
something?
that, there's a website that because OnlyFans content is not or used to not be protected. Like you can go ahead, a hacker could go in there, take all your shit.
Yeah, but
and
that's a
now
hacker,
everything-
but, like, a regular
But the thing
idiot
is that
like me
there's a
couldn't do that.
website out there that has those archives.
Right.
I just don't know the website off the top of my head, but it's completely Googleable and everything on OnlyFans. you can-
Googleable.
Yeah, you can go ahead and find it online.
Ask
like
the
everything.
Google.
I've only paid for one OnlyFans, and that was Tokisha, just because she's fire. But literally one time, and it was only like $4. So
I knew a dude in high school who would draw pictures of like body parts and shit like that, and he'd
Like
pass it around to
hentai?
friends. No. He would like. He
I
was
thought
in
you
an
were
art
about
class.
to say, like, people paying $4 a month for that shit?
Yeah, no. He would draw like a pair of tits or whatever. Like it would be realistic as fuck, and he would pass it around to his friends. And of course, the friends would bring it back to him and be like sticky and shit like that. It'd be like disgusting, but like
Yeah, those aren't his friends.
yeah, no.
those are not his
But
friends.
the
Why
thought
did you give it back
is,
to him?
the thought is, why pay for an OnlyFans? Why pay $5 a month when you can get your
So,
local
right.
artist and designer to draw them for you?
Draw your dream titties.
Well, now even further, like, with this whole Island Boy fucking...
Oh, them niggas is weird.
But it gets
They're
even weirder
weird.
now, right? Because the intraweb has told us...
And there's a whole conspiracy theory
Correct,
behind
that
them.
they're actually the blonde German guys, or they are German, whatever. They're using deep AI to create another person, but they were on OnlyFans supposedly making out.
No, they were completely kissing, and then one of them actually did come out and said he was gay, but he
good for him.
but he was like, "Oh,
Just
I
who
kiss my
cares?
brothers, and it's completely normal. It's whatever." But that was completely passionate.
Ring ding
But
ding
yeah,
ding ding.
but the other conspiracy theory that is behind the island
That they're
boys-
the German guys.
No,
Yes.
no. There's another conspiracy theory. That the reason why they're called the Island Boys is because they were in Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Yeah,
and
but
they were
we've
like,
seen the
there's
AI
pictures-
version of that
there's
too.
pictures of them
Th-
like super tiny and stuff like that, being part of
That's
the island.
the problem
being
now,
people. Yeah.
right? Because
yeah, that's
we've
one
seen
of the rumors. Yeah,
we've seen people embed shit with AI at a level. I mean, you cannot tell what's real or not real anymore.
Absolutely.
Literally, it's. I remember the very first concept of a deep fake, which you guys probably wouldn't. They had this guy, Fred Astaire, that was an old actor, dancing with a vacuum, right? There was a commercial, and they photoshopped or edited Fred Astaire out of the singing in the rain thing, and anyone, us four who are talking to, if you've never seen Singing in the Rain, it's worth a watch in general, just from a nostalgic Americana, cinematic, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
It's a piece of history.
But they edited him out of that dancing with a light pole to him dancing with a vacuum to sell a vacuum.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago. I'm thinking about it now. We're talking about 10, 15, maybe, I don't even know. We should ask the Google. Ask the Google. When did Fred Astaire dance with a vacuum? Anyway, that was the first time I looked at something and I was like, okay, we're now all screwed.
Good luck.
It's a wrap.
It's the Wild West.
I know that there's a whole bunch of rappers right now against AI. I think who was it? Ice Cube went ahead and said like, "Fuck AI. If you go ahead and fuck with my voice in AI, I'm suing you."
No,
Like,
of course.
No.
Okay.
Does Google not know when Fred Astaire danced with a vacuum?
1997.
That was it.
Dirt Devil.
Yep.
So in '97
Yeah.
was the first time that we saw this premise of
This is one of the
a deep
creepier
fake.
Super Bowl ads where Fred Astaire is brought back to life simply to vacuum as he dances in the ceiling.
I found another one that's titled "Astaire Won't Deal with the Devil." That was the
dead,
top.
isn't he?
That was the top article.
Sounds like he's dealing with the devil now.
That sounds like a him problem right about now. Some life
Yeah.
choice issues he needs to reevaluate.
And on top of that, there's a whole bunch of.
What did he do to that vacuum?
Okay, so it was supposed to be funny because the vacuum was a
The
dirt,
Dirt Devil. Oh, okay.
Except it says that his daughter made a statement.
Oh, this
that
is
she
a
was
good
sad
ass
and that-
deep fake. God damn.
It wasn't a deep fake. It was a fucking commercial for a vacuum cleaner.
I know, but you said it was a deep fake.
To me, it
Like,
was a deep fake. You know what I'm saying? It's the same.
It's just kind of.
Yeah, it's you know what? Not bad. Not
It
bad.
said
For
that his daughter was
1997, not
Wait,
bad.
go ahead. What
that
did it
she
say?
was saddened that after his wonderful career, he was sold to the devil.
He was
That's kind of
The dirt?
the Dirt Devil.
That was pretty dramatic.
Could have been worse. It could have been the Joe Dirt Devil.
Dude, facts.
Yeah.
This has apparently happened multiple times. Man's being abused for his dancing.
Oh wow.
Being edited
There's-
into
yeah, there's like a whole bunch of
commercials.
people upset about this.
Damn.
Okay, too
All
much
right,
time on
that's
their
enough
hands.
for you.
Yeah.
Too much time
So,
on their fucking hands.
but yeah, I when I came in this morning, I was like, first of all, it's first world problem. I get it. I get
Right.
it. Okay. If anyone's gonna be like, bah, da, 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 I'm like, nah, son. I know it's a first world problem. Hold on for a second. So, fucking Uber, whatever. So, 40 minutes in the car thinking I had that meeting at 10. I jumped out of the car on 42nd and like 8th? No, 9th. 7th. 42nd around 7th.
Like
8th.
rushing.
Yeah, because I thought we had that meeting at 10, which was at 11:30, right? So that was just, and that's normal. I live on that whole,
It's time to
what
go.
day
Time
it
to
is
go.
it? I'm not sure what I am. We're supposed to be.
I think today's technically Sunday.
I don't know. All I know
Friends
is
spending time.
Kara keeps the shit in line. We're all good. The world does not crash. Okay?
Yeah.
But getting out of the cab, I called Michelle and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be late. She's like, no, it's not till like 11:30. And just walking down 8th Avenue, I was just like, I thought it was cold today. but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, fall is near. Fall is
Yeah,
like,
last night it actually dropped pretty cold.
Yeah,
but,
no, last night was
well,
chilly
first of all,
as shit.
summer doesn't end until like the end of September.
No, yeah.
So
Yeah,
everybody needs
right.
to pause for a second.
technically, but it's already like
No. Okay, and again, I don't like heat.
I was gonna say.
I'm not an advocate of
Yeah.
that. As a representative of the Portland community, we're not advocates of summer or heat. However, some of our businesses are predicated on good weather. The point is I got out and I found myself walking down 8th Avenue, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because of the way I felt or the way I was walking or what I was projecting. Fucking every motherfucker on the street was looking at me. The little guys at the fucking coffee carts like said hello to me, and I'm like, this is something just off. This is gonna be like one of these days.
you were probably like, do I look friendly?
I was gonna say, were you looking around?
No,
Your
the
eyes were
simulation
open,
was,
smile?
Maybe there was,
there's a
yeah.
glitch?
Was there a
There's a
glitch? There was a lag.
glitch?
Maybe it was updating software.
That's the classic scene in a movie where you're just like walking and everybody starts looking at you and you slowly pick up the pace and you start running and like breathing heavy and then you fall into like a hole or some shit like that. And
No, I avoid the holes.
Well, okay, fine,
I
whatever.
find my favorite glitch in the simulation is when you see somebody that's not supposed to be there, and I used to call it God running out of extras in the movie of life. Okay?
Sure.
So like every day you see certain people at the bagel store, or the bodega, or the train, and you're like, you give that like slight, maybe a little head nod, and that's just a general understanding of like, look, I don't know you don't know me, but if there's some shit about to happen, we got each other.
Yeah,
that's
we
what
from the
there's-
same
there's a
place.
certain level of
Yeah.
acknowledgement.
Right? That's just an acknowledgement of
Yeah.
if shit goes down, right?
Yeah.
But then you go someplace random, like you could be in like, I don't know, fucking Connecticut or somewhere else, and all of a sudden you see that guy. And that just messes with your head. Where we're like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You're the bagel store guy or the train guy. And I used to say that, like, that's God running out of the extras in the movie of your life. Like, they needed someone to go, and they're like, we don't got anybody. And this one's like, send the bagel store guy. It doesn't matter. They're like, it's going to confuse him. It's like, it's all right. He's already confused.
You guys really need to see They Kill Tyrone. I'm telling you, because it's like
No, I
like
saw
that.
it,
It's
but
kind
but
of
it,
like that.
well, I didn't even understand what the point of that was. There was
What?
no, I got it and I saw it, but there was
shit.
the whole movie. I was too busy laughing at Jamie Foxx being.
Oh yeah,
hit.
no, Jamie Foxx's character was hilarious. But once you get like bypass that and they kind of see like all the conspiracy theories, like all like with the put the perm on, all of a sudden you're just kind of like,
Okay, so clearly I was
And they're
way
just kinda-
too high watching it.
Yeah,
because
no.
all I focused on
was
Jamie Foxx being the pimp.
Jamie,
dude was like watching the movie. He was like, yeah, everything makes sense. Yeah.
this
is a movie?
It's fine.
This is a
Like,
movie?
It's completely fine.
What-
No, and then me, I'm watching
I was
it
like, the
high
whole
as
time-
shit, paranoid as fuck. Like, oh my god, what if we're all really fucking clones? What if we're just NPC
God, of course
characters
you
with a
were.
purpose?
I spent half
Oh
the
my
time thinking
God.
Jamie Foxx had recently died or something in a hospital,
Yeah, no, the rumors that were being spread
Yeah.
about him were fucking disgusting.
but he wasn't.
No.
He was sick, right?
He
he had something
according to what it was told,
Allegedly.
because allegedly it was like heart problems, some type of health problems, and then he was like almost right there about to die. But then there were some nasty ass rumors that were being around saying that he already died, and it wasn't heart problems. It was actually kind of nose candy related, and that is just.
Oh, Smarties.
Yeah, Smarties. That's what we're gonna call him. Yeah, and I was just like, no.
2C.
Yeah,
When you get that 2C text,
yeah.
have to write back.
It was
I
like,
get it for you, but it's not my
yeah,
thing.
no. Supposedly he got involved in some white T-shirts, if you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah, the white people, crazy.
that. Oh yeah. Oh,
Not white people, it's white powder.
yeah.
When it's not white power, it's white powder.
Powder.
Heavy D.
Welcome to the Frank Show, where we now represent the.
The White
Yes.
Powder Alliance.
No, no,
Oh
no.
no.
Hey, hold
no,
on, hold on.
no,
Wait a minute,
no,
wait a minute.
no,
Hey,
This is
hey,
New
whoa,
York.
whoa,
That
hey.
shit's funny everywhere else. That shit lasts about 30 seconds in New York.
Yeah, no.
That's when you got real fast.
Do you think some shit like what happened to Michael or whatever his name is can happen to like a New York player if any type of
Yes.
sport?
So
Absolutely.
any player anywhere that's sports, like especially in the NFL have the worst contracts. They have the worst representation, and they do the most amount of damage to their bodies other than possibly boxers.
Yeah, I think there was an NFL player retired NFL player that I think he passed like literally like 2 days ago at 28. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're retired at 28 and you're dying?
Yeah, they
That's
Absolutely.
insane.
Absolutely.
That's insane that a sport can
you
take
gotta
that
think about
much
it.
out of you. Because at the end of the day, like whatever
Well, 'cause
amount they
it's-
give you means fucking nothing.
It's
'cause
the
your
modern day
life. It's crazy.
Coliseum, right? It's just another version of the Lions, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
the
really
great
is.
distraction. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm guilty of it. I root for a team.
I absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
Right? I love it. I go to I sit in the same place forever, but at the same time, I'm like, these grown men getting fucking $100 million to
Oh,
play
deep.
ball.
Yeah.
So, it's just a distraction. There are people that, I get it. It's like anything else, they need to feel attached to something bigger than themselves or as an escape. But with all of that said, NFL players have the fucking shittiest deals. And then what's really interesting is, like, if you've ever spent time around NFL players, you start really believing in the Anunnaki.
What
It's
is the Anunnaki?
So there's that conspiracy of that there were giants that lived on Earth before humans. And they were a
Oh,
combination.
okay. No, I know of that theory. I just
Right.
didn't know. Wasn't familiar
Stand
with the name.
next to fucking some of these football players that are like 6'4", 3 something, and you're like, there's no way we are the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about like a big guy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about like some 6'2" guy. I'm talking about like 6'6", 6'7",
Goddamn.
in that 350 range. You start realizing it's like, okay, this can't, maybe there is another thing. I don't know, but yes, just not to go off the rails, but
Yeah, let's talk about conspiracy theories. Mermaids are real.
Oh, okay.
we should just
Let's
pick
go
a
on
day
elsewhere.
of just conspiracies.
Would you
Yeah.
feel that aliens are a conspiracy?
No,
Because they're not anymore.
If we get
I'm the wrong
invaded, do
guy
you
for
think
that.
it's gonna happen from the sky or the sea?
it's gonna, first of all,
Because I think it's the sea.
it's aliens, so you need to stop thinking linear in a concept of time and space.
I think they're just
Come
gonna.
from nowhere.
Because if you subscribe, which I do, that there's no way something this big in the universe, which we don't even know how big it actually is, number one. Number two is we don't even understand the concept of energy and dimensions, which is number three, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so there has to be something else out there.
Yeah,
Right?
It would be super naive to assume not.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say, when the aliens coming, like, one, the aliens are here. Two, I wish we had that kumbaya moment, but I don't know if we're gonna have it. It might
Or like
be
in
too
Scary
late.
Movie where we're like, hey, yeah, so how do you do that? Oh, yeah, so let's go.
No, it's like, when it's like Independence Day, you know what I'm saying? Where everybody gets together, right? Like Independence Day. I don't know if you guys seen that one.
Absolutely.
Where they show like the video of like Israel with fucking Iraq, their soldiers are all together, and everybody's fighting to defend Earth.
Yeah.
I don't even think we have that anymore as a people. I think we are going to turn on each other
Oh, for
Absolutely.
sure.
instead of saying, "Hey, we have a common enemy."
Yeah.
And that's just that is my impression, and that's where I think we are. So to answer your question, yeah, there's absolutely aliens. I don't know where they come from. I don't know how they move. I don't know if we can even process how they move, because again, we have some decent, I've become skeptic of everything, but in theory we have some pretty good telescopes, and we have the ability to look out far into space, right? Because the same way we don't actually see stars, we just see the light that has traveled from stars
Yeah.
that have died out.
Yep.
These aliens have to have tech that just defies what we understand, right? So how do they come? I don't know. But all I know is, like, if they have the ability, I think the reason why they're coming is because we throw in garbage where they drive, and that's why this is all going on. So
They're like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
I think that what's going on is aliens have been here, and the same way I was like, when was the last time anyone's been to the Bronx Zoo? I don't mean the Bronx, I mean the actual zoo.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
Right?
It's been a
Why?
minute.
Because I went a couple times as a kid.
Wait, hold up. You've never been to the Bronx Zoo?
No.
Have you been to
Really?
any zoo? Fuck
Yeah.
that for a
I
minute.
haven't either.
No.
Have you ever been to a zoo?
Yes. One.
Oh, okay.
The last time you went to the zoo was when?
When I was like 9.
Okay.
Oh, no, I
Why?
went to the zoo like...
Because you
years ago.
saw it. It's great. You went about your business.
Yeah.
I think that's how the aliens look at us.
That's
like,
fair.
Probably.
It's
Yeah.
great, but
Been there,
now
done that.
we're putting shit where they drive. We're throwing our garbage on their belt parkway. Okay, we have commercial space shuttles going out into space, right? We're building space stations. We got garbage up there. We got all this shit, and they're like, "Look, you monkeys, we're cool in your little thing,
Stay
but
in
you know
your
what?
dome."
Now you ain't.
Now you ain't. Now you
Now
putting
they're like, yo,
garbage.
stay in your lane.
Right. You putting garbage where we do shit, and you shooting shit up into space like pulses. Nah, children behave. I think that's what is happening. I just, you know. But again, I think everybody has also the same opinion of like, yo, I got my own problems. Right? Everybody.
Yeah, I feel like that's why nobody was phased about the alien shit. Everybody was
But
like,
they've
"Oh,
been here
aliens
for
are
a long
here,"
time.
and the CIA military dude went ahead and said that there's 140 something
Congressional
bodies.
hearings
Yeah, they had a
where
congressional
it came
hearing
out.
where there was 140 something bodies that we have. Oh, heard you, bet no problem. Bills still got to be paid.
Yeah,
Bodies
nobody
are still
cares.
dropping. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but this
If
has
they're gonna
also
pay
been
my
over
bills,
many
sure.
years.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
just
no, no. We
now.
have never had This is the first.
No, that was the first
The
time
government
that
has
somebody
never-
confirmed it.
No, yeah, out of
Yeah.
getting confirmation, but their information is coming from a span of years. This is not
Correct.
new.
Yeah.
But
that
we've
they've been
never
here.
had the government turn around.
For sure.
Like during the pandemic, when
'Cause
they
for years it would
first
guideline
started
us.
with
They would
that
guideline us.
UAPs.
Yeah, but like, why would you be scared if it's only coming out now? This has been happening for years, and it's
Yeah.
already been like dealt with over this time. Why would you freak out now? Now
Well,
you just know.
Well, no. There's a difference between knowing and like knowing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can think
Like
something
having
to
a
be
hunch
true.
and then confirmation.
Right.
I just find it dumb
mean,
to
I look
think
at
that
it
this whole
like-
span that
I
you
think
see alone.
yeah, sorry.
I look at it like, you know, everybody was saying, oh, McDonald's hamburgers are like made of pink slime, right? It's a conspiracy that they still are, but if they came out, you know, that it was pink slime, I'd be like, okay,
Nobody
let me get a
cares.
number 4.
Right, you
You know?
still eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
I
let me
mean,
get a
like,
number 4. I don't give a
Why
fuck.
do you think
Yeah.
I still chase
Extra
the
cheese.
McRib?
Yeah, exactly.
Where I know the ingredients in the McRib are some of the ingredients are used in styrofoam cups.
Absolutely.
Yikes.
The microplastic content in my gut, unreal. But I'm not
gonna
going to
do
stop.
it.
It's
But
not
the
going to stop.
happiness
Like
I
you
get
knew.
from a Big Mac at 3 in the morning is unparalleled.
See?
10
like,
chicken
it's
nuggets
new
don't fill me
over
up.
this
I mean,
time.
but I don't know. I'm just
That's
saying.
a high
Oh
fructose
no!
corn syrup
I know. When
that
McDonald's
suppresses the
came,
brain.
no, when McDonald's came out with like the 40 piece in high school, I was like, challenge accepted. I'm finishing all this shit.
Yeah, but it was like a 40 piece for like $20.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a 40 piece
when
for
the
like.
40 piece came out, it was cheaper at first.
I think it was
Oh,
like.
was it?
Yeah.
I know it now. It's like
It was probably
$20,
like
but-
15 bucks or
Dude, now
some shit
fast
like
food ain't
that.
that cheap.
No,
Unfortunately.
some McDonald's don't even have dollar menus no more.
Yeah. But listen, if minimum wage is $15, how do you sell a fucking, you know?
Hamburger
UP
for
niggas at UPS gonna be making 6 figures now.
Yeah, but you got to watch that, right?
'Cause it
that's
was
a good-
like- it
hold
was
on, but
supposed to be
that's
like a
very
union
good
thing or something like
That's
that?
a very good marketing move. It's 6 figures through benefits, packages, and all these other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So
it's
now,
extras, not
depending on how much that company pays for their insurance premium and then allocates it to the employee, it's subjective. So yes, is it a good gig? Yeah. Did I have like a half a second in my brain going, oh, I could be a UPS driver? Sure. And then reality sat in. I'm fat. I'm lazy. I'm not going to do it. And if they're saying you're making like $1 something, like that's what you're getting as a whole,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure it's tiered, right? And I'm sure you have to be there a certain time.
And then here comes the tax.
Yep.
Yeah.
Million taxes.
Yeah, dude. No, I saw that and I was like, oh wow, because I know a whole bunch of people from my hood that they like UPS and FedEx was their first job. Like a whole bunch of dudes go ahead, get their license, and at 16, 17, or 18 or whatever,
Yeah,
they
but
go
that's a
ahead.
good job
Yeah,
for
it's a great first job type shit.
You
But I
just
was
got to pick things up and
yeah,
put them down.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
but
on
you
some
gotta,
Planet Fitness
sometimes
shit.
you gotta pick up big things in the
Yeah,
heat and
like
lug them.
like when I order 30 and 20 pounds of litter, I feel bad for whoever's fucking
Yeah,
delivering them because
no.
homie, it ain't gonna be me.
But you
No.
can say that at every level, right? Because there's somebody somewhere that's got to do some form of labor that none of us could.
Oh, like shit work, yeah.
Because we come from a standpoint of privilege, and even if you're not at certain levels of privilege, you
Yeah.
still are not the guy working in a sewage plant. You're not
And not
the
like
guy.
that.
Yeah.
But I work construction. I worked early mornings in construction, picking big things up and putting them down and going into open
Yeah.
construction zones. I did that whole fun thing.
Yeah, I came from
Bad
sheet
night.
metal, so that was not.
I built booth at the Javits Center till the unions were like wiling out. But again, nobody understands that somewhere in the food chain or supply chain and everything we do, at the bottom of it, it's a fucking shitty place to be.
Yeah.
But in the interesting part is like the shittiest places are the ones that's most needed for society to function.
Correct.
Like think about
the guy who worked Domino's during the
Yeah, he's
pandemic.
funny, yeah.
Dude, that guy's like a
As an
hero.
He is.
We call
An
that
essential worker.
but I'm saying, like, I respect that because I was one of the thank you for your service. But at the same time, I'm like, really? Because that's kind of fucked up. Because the guys that prove that freedom isn't truly free, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah,
a
no.
subjective thing.
I wasn't really thinking about managing a Domino's, but,
But
I was
that's a
thinking
funny
more or
thing.
less like garbage men are so underrated. It's crazy.
Yeah, but
But like think about it. If garbage
They
men
have-
didn't exist, like
Their
the streets-
schedules- No, their schedules
hold on,
are
hold on.
fucking
Stop.
insane.
Let me explain to you the whole thing, okay?
Okay.
And I've had this fight. This all stems from years ago being here at Fashion Week at the tents, okay? So during the original 7th on 6th, my business partner at the time, his aunt was Fern Malice, who was the president of CFDA.
Sure.
So everybody's like, back then, and maybe now it's not as much, but it was like a big deal where you sat at the tents, like Adam and Tour, and, you know,
Yeah,
all these other people,
it still is.
right?
Still
Okay,
is.
whatever. So Brandon and I would just go into these shows and get fucking hammered and just do whatever we wanted, right? Because his aunt was Fern, was one, and then I was like, oh look, I know the guys who do security. So then it became like this thing. So I would be invited because I was a buyer, right? So there were shows that I went to as a guest of the designer, and there were shows that I was just an idiot with my friend Brandon, okay? And I got into, I remember one year there was a buyer or some quote unquote trend guy, and we got into this whole like argument, and I don't know why I said it, and he said something and I said something, and I'm like, yeah, but that's why I sit two rows in front of you in the tents. Now, I caught myself saying that, and at the time I was probably 19 or 20. I just moved out of home in Brooklyn. I went back to the park, and I walked into the park, and we used to have this thing called free punch. Like, when you did some dumb shit and you needed to center yourself, you'd walk into a park that we'd hang out in Royman, and any given night there's 20 to 30 guys. Girls got whatever. And you just walk into the park and you say free punch, and somebody would come over and punch you. And that would be a way for you to forgive yourself and autocorrect for some dumb shit you know you did, right?
I wish a nigga would.
But no, we asked for it. So the point is that I remember feeling so silly that I used that as a, you know, some type of validation or whatever. Like, I sit in front of you.
Yeah, it's the totem
at the
pole.
tents, right?
Yeah.
And that led to this thought. I've been saying this thing for years. We live in an inverted society structure, okay? Because we look at our food chain, or however people aspire to, or what people aspire to be, is at the top level, it's like the Jay-Z's of the world, right? Great. Then one level down, it's all the millionaires. It's Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and that thing, right? Then you go in a level down, which is the biggest level, which I call upper middle management of society. It's pretty much people like me, you know, people that help the culture move, or biz, whatever it is. And it keeps going down. And then you get to the bottom of society's thing, and then you have firemen, teachers, cops, and garbage men at the bottom.
Civilians.
Yeah, but that's the order.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, like, hey, let me explain something to you. This thing is all upside down, right? Because what happened if Jay disappeared tomorrow? Or if, you know, Playboy Cardi disappeared tomorrow, somebody disappeared tomorrow? Well, nothing. Everybody would listen to the same shit or nothing at all, right? What happens of the Bezoses or those billionaires of the world? Nothing really. Maybe we don't have as many conveniences or luxuries, but that's it. And then what happens if the us's of the world disappear tomorrow? People just don't have fashion or culture, but they're okay. What happens if the garbage men disappear tomorrow? We die within 30 days to 60 days from plague,
Rats would take
famine.
over.
Yeah. So when people have these arguments
Yeah.
about shit, I'm like, hey, dog, let me explain something to you.
I think we saw.
It's upside down.
Yeah, no, we saw that shit. What's it called during quarantine?
Yeah, titled
Yeah,
Essential
we saw
Worker.
it. Yeah, we saw it to a
Not
certain, not
valued.
fully, but to a certain extent, we saw that shit during quarantine because we I remember the argument where people were like, "Oh, I thought my business was essential." No, you're not fucking essential. You're not.
And I have a bunch of friends who work for city sanitation. Let me tell you something. One of my friends is still on the wait list, right? It is a very coveted job to get.
Oh yeah, no.
If you can get into sanitation in New York, you retire with 6
I lost my
figures.
dealer. I lost my dealer to that great job. He went ahead and he was like, I gotta get in the straight and narrow. He literally got plugged in because it was like a friend of a friend that gave him like, that's the only job. You're either on the wait list or super well connected to where you got in, and then his work schedule is fucking insane. And on top of that, he can't even smoke weed.
That's going to change as it becomes legal. They can't fault people anymore for that.
Yeah, because if you can walk into an establishment smelling like wild bud in New York, at least.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's going to change. I think what they're going to do is they will do on-job testing once somebody actually can measure. You see, if they could measure how high you were, which they can't yet, it's like right? It's like if they show you a pack of gummy bears and you smile, you're like, you high, right? They don't have a blood alcohol level for weed yet, right? Because they can test you if you're drunk on the job on the instant, right?
Yeah.
But they can't test how high you are. So when that happens, then we're all set.
I wish. Okay, so when that becomes available, I need to buy the device so it will be like a new record for me.
Yeah, you're gonna track your own. That's like those breathalyzers.
That's what alcoholics do is breathalyzers.
Sorry.
They sit there before they pass out and they're just like, 0.92. Shit.
0.92 bet. Tomorrow I gotta hit that 2 mark.
Like, I'm gonna win. I got the highest score.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
gonna
no,
be
that's
it's gonna be like the punching thing at the arcade. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here thinking about that perspective. That's an insane perspective, like with the totem pole tips upside down. Like,
Yeah, just
that's
built
brilliant.
upside down.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, because it.
Brought to you by Indica.
Oh.
Doom, 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 doom.
The thing is that if you think about it, like those rich ass people, they don't clean their own toilets.
No. I mean,
They don't even fold their own sheets. They don't know how much laundry is.
I like it from
They don't
the
know how much a
perspective
gallon of milk is.
No, I just like it from the perspective of like.
Hold on, slow down.
Don't take it personal. It was not a personal job.
No, I was just
I
saying
see
that
your
like
smirk.
I
your
liked it
smirk.
from the perspective that he put it in of like, everybody wants to be Jay-Z level, which is
Yeah.
factual, but if Jay-Z did disappear, what would really happen? Like nothing.
Makes you less
And I like
valuable.
that idea that it's like everybody's reaching for something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of what moves us as a society, not even as society, but as human beings. And it's like, you can shit on trash men all you want, but it's like
You
You're
die.
essential.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like
Yeah.
without the trash man, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
And I think that is such an interesting perspective.
And then we're all specks of dust on a bigger speck of dust.
Well, I don't want to get into the existential crisis point of this
Nothing is
conversation.
real. Time is not real. It is man-made.
Yeah, exactly,
Time
but
is real right now.
Yeah.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Fuck that movie.
No.
Fuck everybody
you.
gonna be that movie.
Listen,
That
we
movie's
can talk
amazing.
shit about that movie later.
That
Let's
movie's
wrap this shit
amazing.
up.
Yeah, but within that, try and make sure that you're doing something for yourself. If you're not aiding to nothing. Go fuck yourself. Fuck your life. Bing bong.
And fuck them kids.
Facts.
This took a very down turn quickly.
Fuck them kids.
Have a good Wednesday and don't hit us up for nothing.